Now we're on the second portion, which is basically exercise. And that can take a lot of forms. In the classics, it was Qigong and Tai Chi, basically, that were the forms of exercise. But it takes a lot of forms. I mean, we could include yoga. We could include a lot of our physical activity as exercise to move the qi and move the blood, oxygenate the cells, and to keep us healthy. That is the second of 8. It's considered that important. So, and again, this is expressed in the classic medical text. That is, it's considered to be 5,000 years old. This dialogue between Huangdi Neijing is the classic, but with the dialogue with the Yellow Emperor Huangdi and his physician Shipo. So it is thought that meditation is an exercise, the word emphasized, as the most important before a student could study acupuncture, herbal medicine, those kinds of things. They had to be healthy themselves. They had to have the right view. They had to have the right understanding of health and healing before they could be of any benefit to anyone else. And you know, in those days, you paid your physician to keep you well. So they bring you eggs and milk. I still do that. But you, at your own expense, if the patient got sick, you had to attend to them with whatever herbs and treatment was necessary to bring them back to health again. It's a little different than it is these days, to feel like it's the doctor's responsibility to treat the patient at his own expense, free of charge to the patient until health was restored. But at any rate, that's how it was looked at. It was a big responsibility for the physician. It wasn't really a way of commerce. It was an act of compassion and loving kindness. So we talked a little bit about the exercises last time, and we did work with the upper body, and this is really the exercises I'm doing can be done in a seated posture. So this is exercise for meditators. And as I mentioned to you before, this is often how I begin my day before I start my sitting practice, which is between 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning. And doing neck rolls, you know, just loosening up. We're starting with the upper body, and then, you know, the other side. Usually we do 9 of those to each side, 6 to 9. It's you just want to loosen it up a little bit, and then side to side, inhaling, exhaling across, inhaling, exhaling across. Again, a few times like that. We did camel. Again, this is like bringing the chin up and out, and then in and up. So we're stretching, elongating the neck, kind of working the connective tissue in the neck and the discs. We want to keep those discs nice and lubricated. As we get older, the discs collapse. You know, we lose height, actually. We become smaller because the discs become compressed, and we lose height. So these exercises that we do help to move blood in the disc, help to plump them up. And the other thing is to make sure you're hydrated. That is one of the most important things for back pain is hydration. And a very simple kind of fix for low back pain or neck pain is simply hydration. So make sure you're hydrating enough. And in Florida, it is it is hot, and if you're outside, you're perspiring, you're losing electrolytes, you're certainly losing fluid, and those have to be replaced. And over time, you can go into deficit spending as far as that goes. So, and replacing the macro minerals, the calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, those are important for cellular function, and particularly magnesium. If you're having any kind of cramping in your legs or hands, muscle cramps, it's generally due to magnesium deficiency, and in blood tests, many people are deficient in magnesium. We're going to talk more about the vitamins and minerals when we talk about nutrition. But the other thing, and when it's also related to COVID, is vitamin D. So making sure you have vitamin D, that is also important for your immune system. And that's the other thing, if you, the blood test that I always ask my patient to bring me their most recent blood tests so we can go over those things. And if you are ready to, excuse me, have a blood test, check your magnesium levels, have your physician check magnesium levels and vitamin D levels and see how you are. Women in particular, that can be deficient in vitamin D, and that's very important for osteoporosis, to prevent osteoporosis, osteopenia, losing calcium, and getting degenerated bones. So vitamin D, magnesium, calcium as well, but all those things that you need magnesium to metabolize the calcium. So often the problem is not so much the calcium, but the magnesium needed to properly metabolize. So a little side effect, a little sidebar there. Okay, so that is the camel. We were talking about extending up, and then the shoulder rolls, opening up the shoulders one way and then the other. I think we talked about all of these the last time I was here on Sunday. Arm circles, just getting the shoulders. And you want to keep the hands above the shoulders when you're doing this, making a circle, and then reverse it. So inhaling, 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 exhaling, 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 inhaling, inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, exhale. And the same thing, we do in Tai Chi. We have what's called a bird's beak, that the fingertips are touching. You can do your arm or hand circles with the bird's beak, or just without. But it creates a little bit more of a stretch like that, but not necessary. So inhale, 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 exhale, exhale, exhale. Try to coordinate the movement with the breath. It just increases your awareness, and having that kind of relationship to the breath, that is really what yoga is about. It's yoking the mind and the body. So when I taught yoga, which I did for many years, I always did pranayama, and we will do some pranayama as well today. Alternate nostril breathing in particular, cleansing breath. Any question about anything so far? So it is critical, that we do these kinds of things to enhance our oxygenation and getting oxygen to the cells. So we did the upper body, the shoulders, neck. So we can do a little bit with the lower body and the lumbar vertebrae. So with the hands on the knees, we can do just a spinal twist. So stretching left, and you can push off on the right knee with the right hand, and just stretch and look back to the left as far as you can, and then to the right. And feel the stretch in your lower back. Inhaling, 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 and exhaling to center. inhaling to the side, exhaling to center. Inhaling, exhaling. Then there's another exercise called serenity breathing. I think I can do it like this. So having the hands on the knees, palm down. I'll just demonstrate it at first to the left, bringing the forehead to the left hand, and then just rotating, and then inhaling up. Turning the waist, inhaling, 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 exhaling, exhaling, exhaling as you come up. Inhale, exhale, and then reverse it. Inhale, exhale. So ideally, you want to bring your forehead to your right hand in this situation. Nice deep stretch. And inhale up. So your forehead is going to the back of your hand that's resting on your knee. Any question about that? So if you were doing that with me, you could feel the stretch in your lower back. And often that is the place that people have problems in the lower lumbar area. And that kind of stretch will help to open that up and actually improve your sitting practice so you don't get tired or you can sit for longer periods of time. And I think we also did Ahu breathing. We did a couple of Qigong exercises as well. So just for review, the Ahu breath, we can start with the hands in prayer position, and we subvocally on the inhale, it's Ah. And Hu on the exhale. And you imagine a flower opening. The energy going in, energy up, open, hold, exhale completely. So we did spinal twist. That motion, circular motion to each side is called serenity breath and the Ahu flower. Any questions about that? How are you doing with this? Give me a little feedback. Because I don't have you in the room, I can't see if you're even doing this, but tell me if you're having any problem with the indications.
Lama, the head to knee, the rotation head to knee, is that the serenity breath?
Yes, it is.
Oh, thank you.
And it will have that effect, 9 times to each side. And then when you finish, you just rest in that posture. Of course, it's just like your meditation posture. You're suspended from the heavens by a string, nice and straight. But that will bring you to a nice, quiet place. So it's ideal to do before your meditation. And oh yes, we also did the draw bow, shoot arrow. So I'll just demonstrate that again as a reminder. From the prayer position, make sword fingers, the index finger and middle finger extended out, and the other 2 fingers are curled in. And then inhaling, I'm doing it to the left side. It's as if we were pulling a bow and shooting the arrow, and then exhaling, hands come back to center, sword finger out to the opposite side, push the right arm out, pull the left arm back, and feel the stretch. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. And again, 6, 9, whatever time you have for that. And the other one was lifting the sky. So with the hands, right hand and left, as we would be in our seated posture, inhaling up, turning the hands over and pressing up. Palm of the hands towards the heavens, fingertips touching. I know you can't quite see my hands when they're extended up. And then exhale down. Coming back to center, inhale up. Push up, look up, and exhale down. One more time. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Hold, exhale down. It's called lifting the sky. So both of those are Qigong exercises from eight pieces of brocade. There are 8 of these different postures in that sequence.
Lama,
Yes.
I have a question. When you had your hands in the bird feet, is that you're just rolling the wrist? Is that right?
Yes. So making circles to one side, to the right, and then reverse it to the left. And just get as big a rotation as you can. We're on our computers, we're doing lots of things, and carpal tunnel is a problem. It is to open up those joints. The carpal tunnel is a repetitive motion problem, and if we can keep those carpals, those are the small bones in the wrist that trap the nerve, and that's why there's pain. And we want to keep, just like we were talking about the neck and shoulders, we want to open those sinews and create the space, open that area to prevent more circulation, more blood flow, and prevent that from happening.
Lama,
Yeah.
when doing the wrist rotations, I've noticed that it's possible to get some, without diminishing from the wrist rotation, get some elbow rotation.
Yeah, try to keep it just with the wrist.
Oh, okay.
Without the, so you're isolating the wrist.
All right.
Hey, Lama,
Yes.
what is the name of the flower for the one exercise?
A-H. So the inhale is, we're actually saying and hu, H-U, hu on the exhale. Hu flower.
Okay, thank you.
Coming from that, the intonation that we have on the inhale and the exhale. So the other thing I'd like to add that I feel is important is the alternate nostril breathing, which has lots of benefits. It balances and harmonizes the 2 hemispheres of the brain. The breathing through the left nostril affects the right brain, and inhaling to the right affects the left brain and helps to reduce stress and anxiety. Consequently, for our meditation, it's relaxing. It lowers your heart rate. It helps improve sleep. So you can do this at any time. It helps relieve mental tension, supports healthy blood circulation. It obviously ensures better oxygenation to every cell in the body. And because it does that, it can also improve our metabolism. So even we could consider weight loss or proper metabolism in our digestive system too, because it's enhancing that oxygenation. So it stabilizes the prana, the vital life force, the chi in the body, allows release of emotions. And sometimes when we do this, you may feel emotions rising up. And just like you might in meditation, you just view it with detachment, label it if you like, emotion. But it has a nice quieting effect on the emotions. You know, we get upset, our breathing usually accelerates, and that is, if we can just relax our breath, we get excited, emotional, whether it's good or bad, we can balance our emotions, you know, release those emotions through the breath. And when we do it, we're going to breathe deeply and exhale sharply, exhausting all of the stale air. So it also enhances deeper breathing. Often we don't breathe very deeply. Many people breathe very shallowly. And again, your primary source of energy is the air that you breathe. You can go for a while, again, without eating or drinking, but you can't go long without breathing. And a lot of people have poor energy because of their life force, because of the lack of prana, because of the lack of the chi that comes with the lungs' capacity to extract the chi from the air that we breathe. That is the function of the lungs. But you have to have the breath to extract that chi. So breathing deeply, taking deep breaths, and exhausting the stale air is very important for that. So if you're not breathing completely diaphragmatically, or you're not only not getting enough fresh air, chi that is charged, really has some energy to it, but you're not exhausting the old stale air, carbon dioxide. So that affects your blood as well. And so it's naturally, it centers you and focuses your mind when you're doing that. Again, we're bringing our awareness, both our mind and our body action to this exercise, the alternate nostril breathing. The left nostril is for calming. The right nostril is more yang for energy. And breathing into your left nostril will access the right side, as I mentioned, the feeling hemisphere of your brain. And breathing through your right nostril will access the thinking hemisphere of your brain. So consciously alternating your breath during this alternate breathing exercise between nostrils will allow you to activate and access your whole brain. So you can't think if you don't have oxygen either. So it enhances your mental capacity. Does that make sense? Any question?
Yes, Lama. I'm wondering if Tibetan Buddhism recommends using jalanete with the jalanete pot, and also if it is recommended to practice during Brahma Muhurta.
I don't know what those things are.
Jalanete, the nasal douche before pranayama with the salt water.
No harm in it, but you know, we're more interested in the oxygen aspect. So if you're having sinus problems, or you have some constriction or something like that, that doing that nasal douche would be helpful, sure. It's certainly good, you know, in cold and flu season to exhaust any viruses or things like that. No harm in it. but that's not really part of alternate nostril breathing.
Also, didn't the Buddha recommend meditation, especially during the 90 minutes before sunrise, Brahma Muhurta?
Well, that's it's really between 3 and 5 a.m. That is the time that the lungs are at their peak. That can extract the pure chi that you're breathing. And of course, you need to be in a place where you have good chi that you're breathing in. So often, it was they'd be in the forest doing that breathing, or in a place where the air was pure and clean, and the vitality was, there's a lot of chi, a lot of prana in the air, oxygen. So if you're in a forest, that's what the trees and the plants are giving off and taking in the carbon dioxide. So you want to be in a place that has a charged, good air. I see people jogging, next to the road with buses going by, and it is not a good chi. And our homes, unfortunately, that are all closed up, often are toxic as well. So try to reinforce that with, the Himalayan salt lamps have negative ions that they put out, negative ion generators, good purification systems, or air purifiers, things like that, so that molds and dusts and other particulate matter are not excessive. Does that answer your question?
Lama?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lama, the left nostril, you said the right was thinking, the left was what?
Calming. One is
Coughing?
calming, yes.
Oh, calming. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, more for the parasympathetic nervous system, it has a calming effect. The other is more sympathetic nervous system, it charges you up, gets you ready to go. And so it affects the nervous system in that way.
Thank you.
So yeah, so a few rounds of alternate nostril breathing is a good, quick pick-me-up, if you're feeling tired or stressed, both in body or mind. So with that much needed dose of energy, that's, as we were saying, primary source of energy. When we drink a cup of coffee or something like that, that energy is coming not from the coffee, but your adrenals that are pumping, hormones, adrenaline into your system. And that is often going to deplete your system of that, and you're going to go into deficit spending if you continue to do that, and it's not considered ideal. The breath, however, you can breathe all the time and not worry about exhausting your adrenals. Quite the contrary, it'll help support your adrenals. So again, so revitalizing you, improving brain function. If your mind is dull, your concentration and mental clarity are poor, alternate nostril breathing can bring, again, prana and oxygen into your body and help both sides of your brain, improving bilateral brain functions, including cognitive function. As we get older, again, maybe it's because we're not breathing properly. As we get older, our breathing becomes more shallow, or the quality of our air is not good enough, and we lose our cognitive function. There's a lot of reasons why that might happen. But cleansing the lungs, make sure we talk about the inhale, but also the exhale has got to be complete as well. And we're going to be doing some alternate nostril breathing in just a minute, and we'll do some sharp exhalations so that we make sure that we're removing the stale air and impurities from our lungs and utilizing the entire lung capacity. I think one of the exercises that we did last time, I mentioned bringing the head back and up so that you're breathing into the upper left-hand quadrant. The lung actually comes above your collarbone. It's huge. It's from the diaphragm up above the collarbone, and rarely do we breathe into that area. So you can enhance that by bringing the head up and back to the right, enhancing the upper left hand lung, and then same thing on the opposite side. And feel a stretch and inhale into that upper lobe. We have 5 lobes actually, 2 on the left and 3 on the right, I believe it is, for our these lobes that extract the energy. So yes, 70% it is said of our body's waste products are eliminated via our lungs. So it's a huge capacity, and to use it both to bring in that pure chi from the heavens and also exhaust the used chi, stale air, is important. And we were saying it also, just to reiterate a little bit, that it does calm an agitated mind. And if you are finding your mind being stressed or agitated, do some alternate nostril breathing to bring you back to center. And you'll find it also helps your sleep if you're having problems with sleep. And if it's difficult to fall asleep, practice this intentional breathing. We said that, you know, the Buddha did teach, and we talked about with our dream yoga as well, that sleeping on your right side, having the left nostril up, helps to bring that, activates your parasympathetic nervous system and helps to relax you. And it's a good preparation for sleep and for dreaming, for that matter, for rest and relaxing. Parasympathetic nervous system helps the nervous system to repair itself. There's actually a little pause in the heartbeat when we sleep. When we sleep, that pause is important to help. The heart is a muscle, and it's constantly doing its job. You know, when we physically exercise, we work our muscles hard, when we work out, and then we can give them a rest. The heart never rests. It is constantly pumping and doing its job 24/7. And but it does have an opportunity to rest if we're giving it what it needs. And so this alternate nostril breathing, enhancing parasympathetic nervous system function, helps the heart to calm and cool. And as I say, just doing it for a few minutes before your meditation can help focus your mind. Okay, any questions before we practice a little bit? Okay. So take a comfortable posture. We can use the thumb is going to go against the right nostril. You can use your ring finger or a little finger on the opposite nostril. You can kind of get a feel for, it's just going to be a simple rotation. We're going to be closing one nostril, keeping the other one open, and then inhaling, holding, and exhaling. Inhaling through that same nostril. Hold. And exhale out the opposite nostril. Completely. You may want a tissue because you're going to exhale sharply to really exhaust the lung. And then inhale through that same nostril. Hold it. and exhale to the opposite nostril and inhale. So that is the opposite, we'll be going like that. Closing the right nostril with your right thumb. Inhale deeply through the left nostril. At the top of your inhale, close the left nostril with the ring finger or little finger of the right hand. Take your thumb away from the and release the right nostril. Exhale. So back and forth. Any question about that? Inhaling, holding, exhaling completely. Inhaling through the same nostril that you've exhaled from, holding. Press against the nostril you just exhaled. Breathe in, then the other side. Hold and exhale. So there are various ways that we can do this. And sometimes your arm may get tired, doing this. Hopefully not. You're not that weak. If you're left-handed, usually we use the right hand to do this. But if you're left-handed and you prefer to use the left hand, that's fine. But find a comfortable position. If you need to support the hand, that's fine. But again, I would hope that you have the capacity to keep the hand in that position and just alternate left and right.
Lama, when between the inhale and exhale, something like 3 seconds. How long is
There's different ratios.
Okay.
So we can inhale 2, hold 4, exhale 2. But that exhale, it needs to be sharp. It's not a gradual exhale. We really want to exhaust the, and you have a different result by increasing the inhale and diminishing the exhale, or diminishing the inhale and increasing the exhale. When we talk about parasympathetic or sympathetic nervous system, you're going to be influencing one more than the other, but basically keep them even. Keep them even. So inhaling to whatever count is good for you. You might inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Exhale 1, 2, 3, and then completely exhale everything out.
Thank you.
Lama, are there any, what are the recommended number of rounds?
You can do 9 rounds.
Okay.
And on both sides, it's considered 1 round.
Right.
Some of you yogis have been doing this for some time. Anything you'd like to add to the alternate nostril breathing? Again, there's many different instructions for this. I'm giving you one. There's other ones that we could do, but this is sufficient. This is a full cycle. And you can gradually increase the repetitions. I'm suggesting starting with 9 or 10, and then you can increase it as you go, as you gain experience, if you want to extend it. But that is sufficient if you're doing it properly, steadily, rhythmically, smoothly throughout your practice. But once you gain experience, you can balance the inhalations and exhalations better. So you can increase the count, inhaling 8, holding 8, exhaling 8, but it's not so important. The idea is to get in a good rhythm that's comfortable for you where you are, but to do it, just like our meditation. We start with 21 breaths. I often give that instruction. So this one, 9 breaths or so. There's nothing magical about 9. It is a number of completion. It is a yang number. Numbers are yang, even numbers are yin. But it is, you need to get your own rhythm for that.
I know that, excuse me.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that, every yogic tradition seems to have its own variation of Nadi Shodhana. And, I think even the Kundalini, you go on for I don't know how many minutes, and it's exhausting. And
Especially the Kundalini, you go
Yeah.
up.
And the one that I learned is just very, very slowly inhaling and equally as slowly exhaling. But I mean, I see the point of, you know, getting all of that stale air out. That definitely makes sense to me.
Yeah, that is the Tibetan way of doing it.
Exactly. But
The Ayurvedic system, the Vedic system is more even, as you say. This is really to exhaust that chi, that stale air.
but I also am more attracted to taking in the inhalations very, very slowly. Does that still work with the Tibetan way?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
no problem. But just make sure you're exhausting completely. At the end, give a strong exhale.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you, Lama.
Lama,
Yes.
I think you mentioned Iyengar's light on pranayama.
Right.
In that text, Iyengar emphasizes for precise awareness the feeling of coolness as with the inhale and the feeling of warmth on the exhale.
Yes. But that's we do the same thing with shamatha. When you're doing the inhale, it's a matter of mindfulness. So when you're inhaling, even just doing shamatha, we're aware of the breath, but be aware of the cool on the inhale and warm on the exhale. He's just emphasizing the mindfulness aspect.
And I found that for my morning meditation, the nasal douche really affords clarity with the inhale and the exhale. If my sinuses are clogged, I'm really struggling.
Yeah, that's right. So if that is the situation, then you want to enhance and open those channels as much as possible. So yes, that's fine. Okay. Any other questions? Does everyone feel like they could do this alternate nostril breathing, this pranayama?
I felt it. I could feel a difference in the upper airway by doing that little bit I did now.
Yeah, it will open
Thank
it
you.
up. And as we're saying, the breathing is a very important aspect to your overall health and well-being. So do practice it. And I think you'll also find the enhanced awareness and mental cognition will help your focus and attention in your meditation practice as well. So as we say, it has a nice balancing effect on your emotions and your cognitive function, as well as your physical form, getting more oxygen to the cells.